This is the main thing that you sell. This is the thing that makes you 95% of your revenue.
Welcome to Show Me the Nuggets, where each week Joe chats with world-class entrepreneurs to find out the key principles, strategies, and processes that lie behind their outstanding achievements. Now, your host, the no bullshit serial entrepreneur, Joe Troyer.
I want to take you guys through this formula that I've been working on and that I use when I really think about an agency. All right, so here we go. So first and foremost is your core offer. Okay, so your core offer, guys, this is the main thing that you sell. This is the thing that makes you 95% of your revenue. So in terms of a core offer, your core offer should always be a monthly residual. If you don't have a monthly residual in this business, I think that you're absolutely, I'm just going to be frank, I think that you're shitting the bed. I think that you're missing the boat. And ultimately, you're going to kick yourself in the ass 3 months, 6 months, 12 months down the road from now when you have a bad month and can barely survive, right? I was just speaking with a really good friend of mine. He's my videographer, great, really talented dude. And I'm speaking with him and he's like telling me that he was kicking himself in the butt. Like his business model obviously is not recurring. And he went from crushing it every month, superseding for like the last year and a half, and just getting bigger and bigger and bigger to that abrupt fall off of quite literally no deals happening the entire month. And if you haven't felt that yet, you're gonna feel it and you're gonna have this experience. So let me save you some trouble. Let me save you some angst. And definitely build a core offering. And for me, guys, I wouldn't do anything less than $1,000 a month. Okay, $1,000 a month. That should really be like the starting price point for you. Okay, and ultimately over time, as you get clients and as you retain clients and you're getting them awesome results, that monthly recurring needs to go up. So you need to go from 1,000 to 1,500 to 2,000 or 1,000 to 1,000, from 2,000 to 3,000, and your pricing as you get bigger and as you get bigger and as you need less and less customers, your pricing should go up. Okay, so this is just the monthly minimum to start. Okay, so your core offer should have a minimum of $1,000 a month, right? At the end of the day, again, you need $1,000 a month minimum for your core offer. And frankly, if I was going to jump into a new niche or new vertical, I would really challenge this number. Okay, and I would be looking at potentially even starting at 2,000 plus a month. And your profit margin on these numbers is almost as important as that $1,000 a month mark or that minimum recurring revenue mark. And I would say that at the end of the day, you should be looking at 75% plus margins on this. Okay, and if your margins are the opposite, right? If you got 75% cost of goods sold, trust me when I say you got a big freaking problem. Right? And you're not doing yourself any justice. And the fact of the matter is, probably in 6 months, like you're going to be done with the client because you're not making any money. You're going to be sick of it and you're going to be doing a crappy job. How many of you guys have at least a 75% margin right now when you look at your current customer base and your current revenue? So I was talking with a friend of mine, well, a friend of a friend, and this guy recently, took some coaching from me, and literally in the course of 30 days, we took his profit margin from a 25% profit margin to a 75% profit margin, and the dude right now is at between $38,000 and $40,000 a month recurring. Think about what just happened for him and his life and his family. Like that is freaking crazy. That is bananas. Huge difference, right? So make sure that you got that profit margin. And I know some of you guys are already thinking like, Joe, how's that possible, right? Like, how do I get that profit margin? By all means, you guys can add on things like pay-per-click advertising that have a smaller profit margin, right? But say that they're gonna actually put up the spend, right? And then if you wanted to, you could roll in the management into your service, okay? But keep out all the things that cost a lot of money. Keep those out of your core packages, okay? You guys should be at 75% plus margins, all right? The other thing in terms of a core offer is we want to make sure that it's proven to keep customers for at least 6 months or that you believe you can keep customers for 6 months. Because at the end of the day, if it just churns people out and it burns people and they're sick of your program in 6 months and they're gone, I think you probably could find a much better core offer. Okay, so if I'm going to build a quote unquote traditional SEO agency, okay, and by traditional SEO agency, I'll kind of walk you guys through what I would put in my core offer. All right, so first off, I would put SEO, obviously, and that would consist of on page and off page. Most likely, I'm going to go after local as well. So that's going to include me building out like city-based landing pages so I can rank for all of the different variations in all the different cities and towns and service offerings and those combinations together. Google Maps is obviously a big part of locals. Most of your call volume is going to come from Google Maps, okay? But SEO, on page and off page, I believe full-heartedly is actually going to help you rank and rank higher actually inside of Google Maps. So they are inside, on page and off page SEO. Traditional SEO is going to help you actually rank higher in Google Maps. So I think they belong together. I think they're one and the same, at least when you're selling to local. All right. So for me, Google Maps would definitely be inside of this package. As well in here is going to be call tracking. Okay, and not just for SEO and whatever I'm doing, I'm gonna want to try to be consultative. I'm gonna try to help as many of them as possible, as many traffic sources as possible, so that I can help the business owner understand what's happening, right? And call tracking is super freaking cheap, right? A couple bucks, a phone number, and a couple of pennies a minute. Okay, and by all means, if you see that creeping into your margin, you got a client that is getting a shitload of phone calls, then by all means, have them start paying. But maybe you just include, hey, we'll include 5 phone numbers for you every month, and we'll include the first X amount of minutes for free. And if it becomes a problem, then deal with it. Okay, so after call tracking, I would also implement reviews. Okay, and at the end of the day, ranking in Google Maps is great. But really where you're going to get the most call volume, which your clients want, right? Like they want results, which means phone calls, which means leads. You need to have a good reputation in Google. You need the most amount of reviews that are in the 3-pack, and you need the best aggregate score, right? So you want a 4.5 or better, and you want to make sure that you trump everybody else in the total quantity of reviews. Okay, so you might be thinking, yeah, Joe, that's reputation management. Yeah, but at the end of the day, if that can swing my my calls 30 or 40% up or down in terms of call volume, you better best believe, right, that I'm going to be talking about reputation and using reputation inside of my local SEO package. All right, guys, so for me, I'm going to take my own advice. I would be starting out at $2,000 a month minimum. And here, at the end of the day, if that is not acceptable in a niche and my ideal prospects, which we're going to talk about next, we're going to run the other way, right? We're going to go find another vertical that can afford to pay it. Okay. So next up, and guys, 75% margin in that package is amazing. Let's talk about fulfillment real quick in that package. On page is going to be labor intensive. Okay. But there's no other cost of goods sold. And that's a one-time per account thing, no problem, right? City-based landing pages is a bit of content and no problem. You don't have to do 100 in a month, just drip them out and ensure that you can hit that 75% profitability. Next up is Google Maps. You're gonna do one full audit, fix the items that are wrong, optimize the GMB, then you're gonna order your citations and you're gonna be golden. Right? Like that's about all that you can do in terms of maps. Now, every month moving forward, we can do some map embeds, right? And we can do some other strategies. We can power up the citations with more backlinks. But at the end of the day, that's about all that we can really do. Okay. Call tracking. Obviously, once we set up, it's kind of set and forget. And then reviews as well. We're going to run some type of review boost campaign. And what I mean by that is like, we're going to have something that's going to get reviews fast. All right. And so we're going to want to implement a campaign that very quickly puts us ahead of the competition in terms of total reviews and also aggregate score. Right. So we're going to want to be, again, 4.5 reviews or better, or 4.5 stars or better, and also be beating them in terms of the total number of reviews that we have. And then what we'd want to do is implement some type of review monitoring program that is automated, right? So as soon as they get done dealing with a customer, they put them inside a CRM, or it connects with the CRM, and it automatically is requesting a review, okay? And that, folks, if you think about it, is very front end loaded, right? First 90 days is critical. Okay, first 90 days is critical. If you can keep your cost of goods at 25% and your profit margin at 75% in the first 90 days, you can absolutely crush it after that.
Thanks for tuning in and showing me the nuggets. If you've been enjoying the podcast and find our content helpful, please visit our Apple Podcast page, hit the subscribe button, and leave us a review. Joe and the whole team have been working hard to bring more value to the show. Your feedback will go a long way in helping us make the show better and reach a wider audience.